been pressed. We're live. At least we should be live. If we're not live, please tell me.
I guess
Hello?
I'll look.
Please feel free to tell whoever you want to tell. We are live. And, yeah.
Why you say it like that? It sounds like you're saying hide your kids, hide your wife. Ain't no one's gonna be safe up in here.
Because nobody's going to be safe up in here.
Yeah.
Yes, I can confirm you are live.
Yeah, I can too. I got the notification. Thanks, pal. Big, big assist.
So, last we found our intrepid adventurers, we had left them in a state of research and discovery of what these various tombs could mean. Upon their research, they had found a note about Tooth and Claw. Uh, Upon investigation, they found that this is something that has been under investigation by one of the generals and captains of the guard in Amon. They were directed to speak with Thralar Batakota. And so, after a night's rest, I believe you guys took a rest, if I'm remembering 9 weeks ago correctly.
Mm.
Uh,
Has it
Uh,
really been that long?
I'd say
yep.
yes.
Yes, it
Holy
has.
crap.
Yeah.
It has
Welcome.
not been 9 weeks.
Sorry, 7.
Okay.
Still a while. Too long for me.
Took quite a while. We found our friends heading off into. Let me get to the district of Amon that you were heading into. You were not heading into the erudite quarter. You were actually heading to the central district. There had been a garrison set up near the Azalea Street Park as a central place of communication during this investigation Thralar was investigating upon recent rumors and various informations that they had received. So you get there in half the time.
We better.
So instead of 45 minutes, you're looking at 20 minutes, 2.5 minutes. If I could do math in my head right, I'd do that
2.5
faster.
minutes. Let's go. We're
Yeah.
hauling it.
22.25 or 0.5. So as you get to the quarter, you're walking through one of the largest residential districts in Amman. So you have the different walls, the housing. You see different variations as you're going through the district. Some a little bit more up class as the merchant and traveling traders have that kind of distinct difference in tenements compared to the upper slums that you had walked through before. It is a patchwork of thousands of personal homes, guild halls, small taverns, and inns on every corner. The neighborhood kind of lays clustered among the streets tightly and then broken apart by some of these parks. The central park, of course, is the one called Azalea Street Park, one of the most popular areas to go out and visit and wander for a lot of the younger generation, as it gives them a place to stretch their legs. You can see kind of the wide disparity of wealth from home to home, as some have gilded, beautiful facings, fences put up, spaced around the other various houses, where some are more tenement-style buildings where they're butted up against each other in Tudor-style housing. So you make your way towards the central park, and on the way there you do see a garrison of the Amon guards uh, around a serendipitous-looking building, uh, kind of old, seeming more like it was built as a mansion. Um, Maybe at one point it could have been a library or an archive based on the design, but now it seems to be um, requisitioned and used specifically for military use. You see soldiers training outside in the front um, kind of terrace area. They have, a couple of drills running in the front, slashing with swords, um, slicing with pikes. Typical, just kind of training, keeping yourselves busy, kind of work for ordinary soldiers. Uh, as you come up, you are halted by one of the guards. Hold there. State your business. What are you doing over here?
Okay. Hello there, good sir. We have been hired by some people to aid in your investigation about these horrid killings that have been done in a rather beastly manner.
I take it then, you guys are I think you've been called the Bare Knuckle Parcel Service or something? Anyways, you were expected. Steve let us knew that you were coming.
Steve.
Thank you.
Come in. Threelar's inside, up the stairs, back kind of corner office. Hard to miss.
Okay.
You're expected.
Alrighty. Thank you, my good guardsman. I walk into the building and head up towards the office indicated.
So you guys make your way in, and as you're going up the steps, you do see that this does look to have been some kind of archive before. In the main hall, there are rows and rows of books that have, instead of keeping forefront, pushed off to the side and more of a perimeter side of the room now, with a couple of bookshelves in between. Tons of space in the middle opening, with a couple of tables clustered here and there, a few soldiers flipping through different documentations, reading information. Towards the back, you have a dual spindle staircase going up, and from there, you guys continue to follow through. You kind of hear a couple of guards mumbling, "Why do they make us read so much? Oh, I just want to get out there and fight." Just kind of flipping through their different journals and writing down notes on their own side pieces of paper.
Has anyone followed me inside? Or are you all just going to sit outside?
I followed you.
Me too.
Sure. Had to make sure. Isaac?
Oh. Well,
Yep.
I've got some weird connection stuff going on. Give me just a second.
No.
Okay, I think we're good. That was
Okay.
Alrighty.
I couldn't hear or of much of anything, so. But I know where we're at.
So you continue down the hallway, kind of passing by a few people. You get a couple of strange looks from some of the guards, as you guys are rather a motley crew of individuals. As you walk by, you find there's a guard posted at both sides of that kind of mirrored staircase that goes up, like you would see in classic. I want to think of the word here. I think it's classic Baroque style, where you have the matching staircase going up on each side that kind of spindles in with the curve of the building
Okay.
to a main platform on top that splits off into two different offices, one on each side of the upper floor. Seeing your motley crew, the guard at the stairs looks over and says, "All right, Thralar's expecting you.
Thank
Up
you.
and to, up and to the right.
Thank you, sir.
I nod
I
and
walk
follow
up.
the paladin.
Alrighty. So you guys head up. As you get to the office door, you can hear a few different noises coming from the office. It is a closed door at the moment. There is kind of a side slip panel of glass next to the door, so you kind of can see in. Curtains are kind of closed a little bit off by a moderately see-through cloth. But you can hear a little bit of a kerfuffle in there. This is mostly what you hear. Why the hell do they keep... I just... What? I don't care. I said I need more men. I can't keep pushing them off and sending them out on these patrols. Send me something. What? No. Nothing like that. Fine. And you hear a loud, thunderous crash as the door kind of creaks open a little bit from the sound of a table being flipped and crashing about the room. Papers go scattering. The door opens.
I will knock on the door, even though it is open, and ask, Sir Thralar?
Yes. Don't mind the mess. Come in.
Hello.
So,
I'm
do you all
looking
go
around. I'm looking around, and I am minding the mess.
in? So, you walk in the door and you see a Goliath. Long red hair, which is not typical of a Goliath. They're mostly hairless.
Yeah.
And you do see bits of orange kind of tattooed across his body with hints of black striping going down.
Range.
He is covered from head to toe in what seems to be ceremonial armor that seems mostly for show, not necessarily something he would wear.
For combat.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Okay.
Seems to be more of a
Dress
show of
armor.
his position than it is something that he would use.
So dress armor, not functional armor.
Correct.
Okay. I
It's
got it.
he is clasped in a dark purple cloak. Kind of hard to tell it's purple around the station. It's just kind of like a mantle for him. Waves you in. I take it you guys are the bare knuckle couriers. If, I've heard-
That's
No.
correct.
all right, you
Maybe.
kind of figured. They told me about a bird person, but I didn't actually expect a Kenku. I thought it was going to be an Arakroka.
He's not a bird person, he's a chicken.
Right.
I'm playing with the hairy ball. I'm
Please
not-
ignore some of our more eccentric friends.
I'm not paying
We are
attention.
here to try and help. And we may
Yes.
have some information that could be helpful if we play our cards right.
Well, I mean, any information's helpful at this point. Half my guards are cowards, don't even want to go investigate further. I think I'm going to have to put them through their paces, as he kind of shouts out the door. Let Steve be a lesson to all of you.
I look up at the mention of Steve. Steve.
Yeah, Yeah. Hopefully you're not like him.
I hope
Anyway,
not.
the most that we've put together from these attacks is it's some kind of were creature. We're still working on the details, but from the bodies, the bites, and what our diviners could discern, this is something that isn't normal. One or two instances might happen here and there. We're a large city. These things happen. Where creatures come in, take a few beats of prey, and leave.
I kind of look over at Norvar, like the question of wait, normal? What?
We
I
can't
didn't really get any
defend.
other, to be honest.
The big issue is the fact that this is happening inside city limits. Traditionally, a missing persons case not too uncommon inside of the vast city of Amman.
Hmm.
We have over 100,000 people housed here. I think the last total was 287 plus thousand. It's hard to keep track of everything. Sometimes people disappear because they want to have their own adventure. Sometimes they do something dumb. They go into the sewers, unprepared. That's fine. But when this continues to happen inside city limits and not in the outside skirts of the slums, we tend to take more notice. This has to stop. That's about the information that we have that seems to be utilizing the sewer system and older tunnels to get around. We don't know if it's single. We don't know if it's alone. What have you found out?
Master Druid, you care to take the lead on this one?
Certainly. So, what was the name of the werewolf cult again?
Tooth and Claw.
Yes.
Order of Tooth and Claw.
So, there was at one point some kind of werewolf cult society, whatever you want to call them, was affiliated with this city. Order of the Tooth and Claw. Or Fang and Claw, something like
Of
that.
this name, you can see the Goliath actually show kind of a twinge of, are you fucking kidding me? Like, shocked and kind of startled by it.
Right. So, of course, we told one of your guards that we stumbled into what looked like some kind of ceremonial chamber dedicated to somebody of some import associated with this. The casket was open, and there was nothing in it. And that's about where we're at, other than the fact that we figured out that this is werewolves rather than, say, bears, cats, whatever.
Fucking what? Hey,
Werewolf?
get in here. Calls out to one of the guards. It's on the edge. Where did you guys go in? How did you find this place?
So, the other night, when you had the person get killed publicly in that square, and basically the entire city turned out, we went into the sewer that Steve stumbled out of, covered in shit. We followed it all the way through. We encountered some spirit that temporarily possessed our giant friend. Progressed through, saw a few different inscriptions, and then... Does anybody remember what district we came out in?
I think it was the same district we went into, we came out of. And plus, it had taken us quite a few hours to go around because we got stuck in there at one point.
And then there was the possession that we had to deal with.
Yes. Chicken traps with his feet.
All right, I'm gonna need you to mark here on the map where you went in. These ruins far beneath the city have been lost for, well, the last few decades. Most people don't even know anything about that unless they're part of the city. In fact, the council disbanded it after the reign of Dessoir. We can't have this getting out. They were locked away after the final battle that actually helped steal Amon as its own city. After many attempts from the area of Kymel and Fort Daxio. There were,
So
but we need to know exactly where this was. And the soldier hands you a little map, little layout of the city. So you said he came out where Steve came out?
We went in where Steve came out,
So
covered in all kinds of dung.
I'm going to like grab the map as nonchalantly as I can and just start drawing on it basically what we did. I'm not like scribbling on it, and I'm sure somebody's going to stop me for scribbling on it, but it's going to look like I'm scribbling on it, but I'm showing like the exact path that we took from where we entered and then where we came out at Abadar's Promenade.
just the Kenku figured it out. Just he'll give you
Here?
a layout.
Here and here. Okay. Alright, soldier, send that off to the Cobalt Reserve. See if they can't get us a layout of some of the historical sewer works and see if we can't find where this is and pinpoint it.
But if
Now,
I'm following this correctly, you had an order of not just werewolves, but actual warriors who had full control of their ability, and the city just kind of made them disappear.
The rule of Dessoir was one of an iron fist. You really didn't say no to the king. That
Understandable.
could get you much worse than just locked up. In this case, he used whatever means of power. So we had mages, we had sorcerers. It's actually part of the reason why the Arcane Pansophical kind of came about. The kind of Council of Mages and College of Mages. Because he used and abused every bit of power he had. This was one that was used on the front lines often,
Right.
due to the fact of their ferocity and full control of their, unfortunately, Lycanism. This is interesting. They had locked them inside the... Well, this isn't public knowledge. This can't get out. Will it stay inside of this console? This group here. You deserve to know what you're getting into.
I mean,
You have my word of honor, sir. As a Templar of the Grand Order of the Knights Crusaders. Anyone else?
I could tell you whatever you'd like, but I have no need to spread it or share it beyond this group.
I need your word.
You have it.
All right. You there, one with the fancy hat. Take off your hat. You don't need it indoors.
Is he talking to me?
Yes, he is.
Very well. I will follow your rules. I take off my hat and hold on to it.
And then do we have your word that you're not going to share this outside of this group here.
Oh, yes, of course.
You there, big fellow. Looks like you can handle yourself in a fight. We have your word as well.
Hey. Yes.
Good, good. And then, let's see if I can remember. Simply say yes if we have your word as well, Feathered One.
And we lost him.
I shrug. I kind of look at him like, really? Like I'm the one who's gonna spill the beans? Come on.
I will be honest. He doesn't speak common, so
Mimic anything I say.
too much of a concern, I suppose.
That's what frightens me more, as he has the ability to use my voice and say what he wants, and people would know that that is an exact copy.
I do that just to freak him out. I like say his exact sentence.
Just looks at you more sternly. Well, do you have to wait outside?
No.
Good. I'll give you a word.
Mm. This is a... I kind of like cross my arms and look at him and in a very roundabout, not one voice way say like, what's in it for me?
This meeting and learn the truth. If not,
Hold up. Are you really trying to extort something out of this situation? Look at the bird.
I shrug. I don't know if I want anything. I just know that like everything has a price. And I already know all the information that's coming into this because we've talked about it. So I'm giving things and getting nothing. So like I'm trying to save my own hide and get something out of this.
What about glory?
But he hasn't said you'll get glory. He said you'll get
He-
access to the meeting.
no, the meeting where we are going to describe everything that's happening and what your mission will be.
Yeah, 'cause my team's gonna leave me behind. Right.
More of you just don't get a copy of everything he says word for word in his own voice.
I say yes, but like I watch him because he knows what I'm capable of. So if he like tries to trick us or do anything that would set us on the wrong course or try to mess with us, oh, I'm going to abuse my power.
Wonderful.
All right. Now, let's begin. This isn't common knowledge, but after the last of the war, when they pushed back the heavy pressures that we were getting from trying to unify, well, when Deswar was trying to unify both Amon and the rest of Tal'Dorei, and tried to bend Western into its heel. Things fell apart quickly, and a diplomatic relationship had to be evolved. It was there after a massive push between both sides, where both sides suffered many casualties, that it was decided to continue in a more peaceful manner. Uh, After accepting the taxing of the city to help rebuild, Deswar secretly had a meeting for his Lycan and lycanthropes. Uh, they they were led by a powerful, not only warrior but caster as well. It was starting to be feared that this certain individual would decide to take power.
Hmm.
So instead of giving up his power, he offered to have a meeting. And in said meeting, the king used his magicians, his mages, to entrap him at this meeting. They held him in place and put him under a particular stasis spell to maintain his life, but to also lock it away and lock away his spirit, as it were. So, with his body and spirit being separated in two different items, his body was entombed along with the rest of the lycanthropes and their command. And the mages had set the tomb to be wandering. It necessarily doesn't stay in the same place for very long. It moves through rock and tunnel and blends it to make it work, but pinpointing it's almost impossible.
Reality warping.
A little bit. We tried to put it into, or excuse me, they tried to put it into a pocket dimension, but that didn't seem to take hold. They wanted to be able to have the physical body here, but send the soul off somewhere else. So the soul's container was actually released into the astral sea. There's much concern here. So essentially what you'll be going up against, you told me that the tomb was open and empty.
Yes.
I'm going to have to send word to our mages to check on the device and see if it's still floating somewhere in the astral sea. If they can't pinpoint its location, we might have to fear the worst and think that he might be back for vengeance. But it seems unlike him to go after random civilians. I'm more concerned with this being based on the facts. This seems like a mindless creature, eating to survive. I'm wondering, there have been whispers of a potential necromancer that came into town practicing outside the legal magics of healing and constitution and fortification, and stepped into the realms of blood magic, the realms of dark necromantic energies, stealing the life from certain things to give life somewhere else, providing an unlife.
That certainly sounds like it would be wrong.
I'm concerned. Just wanted to make sure you knew what you might be getting into. But, that said, you've been in the chamber, you've seen this. We know... What's his name? It was... Roland Fenris. Oh, that was the name. Yes. Yes, that was the name. Roland Fenris. ROLLINFENRIS. For those taking notes.
What was the last name?
Fenris.
Okay.
FENRIS.
All right. Go ahead.
So, if it truly is him, I can't spare any more guards. I'm already pulled across between this lot. Kind of looks back, and you kind of see a couple soldiers just reading books, going through, and one of them kind of trips and falls over, spills a stack of them. Oh, shit. Just kind of looks around, makes sure no one sees, and just kind of pushes it back in, puts it back on a table. Between this and having to deal with fortifications on the outside of the city, I can't spare too much extra manpower. But after hanging up and speaking to the council, at this point in the room, you can see that there is a polished mirror that is got runes around the edge of it as a silvered kind of barrier with a kind of almost opaque mirrored glass, so you really can't see anything in the reflection. It almost looks obfuscated.
Okay.
And does give off a faint magical essence. You can almost put together that that's who he was talking to before you guys walked in on his little bit of anger.
Yeah.
So, here's what I propose. I've been given 10,000 in discretionary funds to help solve this problem. If you can find this particular instance, sort it out, and take care of it for us, gold is as good as yours. Do you think you'd be willing to take on this threat?
The threat is beyond our capability.
If it means making others safe, I'm willing to do it.
I'm already working for somebody else on this. I mean, I kind of have to finish that job, so
What's he working for?
I pull out the temple emblem from my pocket. The priestess that was murdered, they initially pitched this to us. At least looking into it further. But, well, then I had to. Then things kept boiling in this direction, if that makes sense.
Sounds like a win-win for you.
For your city, more so.
Yes, definitely, but also for me. You
We all
willing?
know what the bird's gonna think.
Yeah. Shiny.
I hear that and perk up.
And I look over to the bard. Said, well,
Yeah, I've got nothing else to do.
well, I'd say that's close enough to being a true unanimous vote.
Right. Do you require anything? I can't really offer much, but we can offer a few things to help aid. But do you guys need anything to restock? We can use some of our garrison's materials since half of them don't need it anyway. kind of looks over his shoulder again, over and towards the window that opens up into the foyer.
I'm liking this guy.
Well,
Anyways,
I'm not so sure about any of that, but what assets have you had at your disposal to use for this so far? That's what I'd like to know.
Bunch of fighters. We had a single caster and a. Yes, had. Don't worry, they're not dead. They just decided that after their contract, guard work wasn't for them.
hmm.
Ended up going over to Western anyway to train at one of the colleges because apparently you can learn more. Kind of air quotes. Nothing teaches you like action. Being in the thick of the fight.
Indeed. Do you happen to have a map showing where victims have been found from all these attacks?
Yes. 1 second. Kind of flips the table back over and kind of looks around the ground and here we go. Pulls up the map that's on the floor. And you do see certain areas marked off. So you do have the entirety picture of Amman and its different sections and quarters and districts. There is an X in the cemetery district over by the coast that's on the far northwest side of the city. You have one at the very south side of the port of Amman, almost leading to the outside wall. You have 2 in the central district, 1 near the skyport, near the river. You have the one that you just essentially added to the mark in the central district. No, sorry, in the Abadar's Promenade.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is one marked in the Temple District and in the Erudite Quarter. There's a question mark listed in the Cloud Top, the district just before the castle. But doesn't appear to be an X.
What was question mark? Is there something about that?
There's a potential missing person, but we didn't know if it was related. I thought it was pertinent to at least put it on paper and see if I could find a trail.
Valid point.
There was no body, there was no signs of struggle. But still, it happening around the same time doesn't seem possible.
Alright. I'm beginning to wonder if there's a pattern to this. Like where they struck and how they're trying to make it all connect. Pattern for like a ritual or something.
Yes. I don't think it's that. Based on the enchantment on the roaming hall, my thought is that this is the nearest exit available to it. And then once it makes its kill, it retreats.
You're also
Alrighty.
totally assuming that there's only one.
That's exactly assuming there's only one. But the reason that we haven't been able to find it would definitely lean more towards you finding the roaming tomb.
I wonder if it would respond to some bait.
All these marks here are entrances by the sewers, so your guess is as good as mine. But one thing I will note is after an autopsy of a lot of these corpses, we find that their liver is missing.
Missing livers.
Was it chased with a fine Chianti?
I don't even effing know.
Sorry, it's a
boy.
bit of an old literature joke. Question then.
Mhm.
Any thought to issuing a curfew?
I mean, we've tried. I don't have the manpower to enforce.
Hmm. If we only had an idea of where they were going to strike next, we could certainly set up a trap and see if it takes the bait. But then the problem is making sure it does take the bait.
Are there any qualities that the victims seem to share?
Aside from the missing liver, no. Just seems, from our reports, wrong place, wrong time. They're near one of the exits to the sewers.
The same exit every time?
No, these on the map here. You kind of see where they're all spread across. Nothing appears to be in any kind of order. They're kind of clustered across.
It seems like we're just going to need a bait at one of these entrances then.
Shot.
Could I do like an insight on it to see if I can recognize anything?
Go for it. Roll an insight check. Or an investigation would be the proper.
12.
12?
12.
So you kind of look at it a little bit. Don't see much of a pattern. Kind of almost trace lines to your head, see where it might be positioning, but each spot appears to be relatively random. It's about what you see with the 12.
Is there some place that they don't seem to strike at this point? Like some place they haven't gone to yet?
There's a few places that they haven't touched yet. But that could just be based off of, well, timing. Maybe it'll eventually will hit somewhere twice. Maybe it'll hit somewhere else. But they've hit almost every district. I think the only one that they haven't touched. No, there's one in the military district here, the temple. I think the lower slums is the only one that doesn't have a direct marker, but we don't get many reports from there anyway. They don't tend to talk to the authorities, if you know what I mean.
Either that could be a place where an attack will occur, or that could be a staging area from where the attacks are happening.
Well, it'd be interesting to that because there really is no way inside the city from the slums except for the main gate, even with the extensive sewer system that goes into a leach field outside of the city. So staging ground seems a little bit on the doubtful side.
I think there might be one organization in the city with.
Isn't there a sewer entrance there?
That theory.
Nope.
And I look over at the bard.
What?
There is an attack that was reported in the upper slums. You can see that here on the map. That is currently where the headquarter of, I believe we have the clasp here. Bunch of bastards. But there is a known location there. I think that's who you're trying to insinuate.
If there's somebody who has the manpower who can keep at least one part of the city locked down, it would be them. At least
Doubtful.
based on everything I've heard.
Hmm.
Doubtful. We'd have to pay them off, and there'd have to be something in it for them. 10,000's a drop in the hat for them, so I wouldn't count on them for anything.
Unless one of their associates gets nabbed for the thing. Which would make this a lot easier.
Not very easy for a class member to be surprised.
True. Although we did almost pull it off.
Wait, you what?
I'll be right back.
There was an incident when we first got into the city. The pillar of ice being dropped on the ground, them trying to kill us.
Oh, that was you guys.
Yeah.
Right. We had marked it down as tourists, going down a wrong alley to save time.
I look at him.
Sure.
I'm like, wrong alley to save time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't our best choice. But it didn't exactly work out easily for whomever we were dealing with either. Because
Kill 'em?
it certainly seemed to be somebody affiliated with somebody beyond just the class, but
You know what? Let me take a look at the report. Goes over and flips through one of the bookshelves, kind of walking over a lot of the paperwork on the ground. Kind of grabs it and okay, that happened. Did this day ago? Ah, yes. The red-haired woman kind of showed her face for a little bit. Was that the particular member you're recalling?
almost had the bitch too. Oops.
Damn. Mark it down. If you see her again, take her out. She's been a thorn in our sides for coming on 2 years now. Always knows a way to get out. We're working with the Pansophical to have a few enchantments put around the city to help prevent a lot of these surprise attacks and help fortify the city. Took that note.
Gives me an idea.
Sorry about that. Couldn't hold it in much longer.
If wait a minute. I look over at the Kenku and then the giant. In theory, could we place some type of magical, I don't know, barrier, trap, what have you, sigils around the city that could actually drive this thing or things into a specific area?
Do you want us to roll knowledge on that, Andrew, or no?
You can roll wisdom or arcana checks.
12. I don't have any such ability.
So that's a natural 20 plus 4.
Great.
Does that mean he gets a double crit on his Arcana roll?
No,
Wonderful.
that just means I
So-
instantly succeed it.
So Jake, you
No, I was joking.
kind of unsure of anything. You're like, maybe it's possible. I don't really know. I don't do those spells. And then, as you're kind of typing in the air, almost, or sorry, writing, just putting numbers in your head as they scroll down in your mind's eye, Toblin, you do know that there would be such a spell, but it would take a lot of time and effort to enact it.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about the options and what that could mean, you start thinking about all the other spells that you could be condensed and utilized, and you come up with something a little bit more unique, and you think of the alarm spell and how that might be able to be placed at some of these sewer entrances as an alarm. Uh, Maybe you could have that tied to an object that would send an alert, like a noise stone. Some of the things that you see some of the kids play with, where they would hold essentially sit and speak something into a little rock, and their friend across the way would hear it from the other side,
Mm.
almost as a message. You know it'd be possible,
Like
but
a telephone of sorts.
the time to build it kind of still is a little outside your expertise, as you're not a um, enchanter. You're not an artificer. Um, that kind of magic sits behind you, but you know it'd be possible,
All right.
and that's what you come up with. I'm not sure how you're going to explain that, but I'd love to see how this RPs.
So I'm
This is gonna be fun.
you see I'm like scribing in the air and like stroking my beak. I'm just like "Meow." And I turn and I just start cawing. Just like and like tweeting and like making all these sounds and like it clearly doesn't make sense.
Kind of. Thrailer tilts his head a little bit. Anyone want to translate here?
I look at the bard. I'm assuming this means he has an idea.
What? Yes.
You were,
I-
you were so
like,
dumbfounded by my amazing RP that you just
wait a minute. Quill pen, ink, and a blank piece of parchment.
I take these and I know what to do with them, but it's gonna take way too long to like write or draw. So I search on me and I find oh, what do I have?
What about the pieces of gold?
So I have like my component pouch and I have the my hairy elastic ball, so I'm gonna get like some of the components out, like piece of string and like a paper clip or some whatever, and I'll have the hairy elastic ball. And so I'll like put the string on one of the tendrils of the ball, and I'll put that next to the map, like the X, and I'll flick it, like kind of indicating like somebody's touching it, like, and then you see that it does the hairy ball moves, and I'll go caw caw like right next to it, and then I'll flick it again and caw caw, and then I'll do that to a different X, and I'll keep doing the same thing, like flicking the string and caw. Huh?
So, tripwire alarm.
Ah.
That's
That
what
could
it said,
work.
yeah.
Olay!
My question though for you, when you were talking with them earlier, did they suggest anything? And I jerk my thumb at the mirror. Did they suggest anything that would be of use to us at all?
That was loud. Sorry.
Well, they thought this was just a not really isolated incident, but something that needed to be addressed and addressed discreetly. So they do not have an idea of what this could be, aside from what we thought was potentially a demon or abyssal creature.
I reply with an isolated incident, and then I like gesture to the map and how many X's there are, and they're all spread out. Like,
That's what I said. Bunch of freaking
Steve.
bureaucratic idiots. Oh, they're worse than Steve.
I gasp. Loud.
Yeah. Yeah.
The particular order to which one of these deaths occurred first?
You do see a little mark on the map. There, it does count up.
Okay, thank you. So I look at the map. Where was the first kill?
The first kill was in the, that would have been Skyport district,
Okay.
which is in the central. It's in the northern central part of the district.
All right.
2 was in the upper slums. 3 was in the Temple District. 4 Alberdar's Promenade. 5 in the cemetery. 6 in the port. And 7 in the erudite quarter.
All right. Alrighty. Still think using somebody as bait, preferably me, because I can withstand it, would be nice, but unless we get more information, we can't really go on much. I'm thinking. Still, we're better off than we were when we started.
Yes, but I do like what your feathered one was coming up with. Putting some sort of alarm system at the entrances.
How many mages and artificers do you have in the city? The more the merrier.
At the moment, I can only think of 4.
Well, so long as they can understand what we pitch, it's the best we can do. Unless there's some
Issue is that's gonna take a lot of time and money, most likely, to put together.
pity all they gave you was 10,000.
Yeah. Issue is we can't just do this off in a one-off. Based on the simplicity of the spell and everything like that, knowing the going rates,
Right.
we have about 130 different sewer entrances that you can actually walk through throughout the city. And that's spitballing. It would need to be a permanent fixture if I was going to get anything from them.
Or if we were to use it to entrap it.
Oh, yep. But I have an idea.
Are we close to any windows?
There's a couple windows. There's one facing the outside. That's the curtains are drawn. They're closed. That kind of faces the outside. There is a window facing the inside of the kind of taken over archive, and then there is that small window by the door.
So I walk over to the map and I kind of like I point at one of the X's and I say 100, and then like I draw like a circle and I'm like gesturing at it like how kind of like asking. So I put like a circle on the X and then I like make the circle bigger and smaller and I say 100, and then like that's what I'm asking, like how far is 100 feet from like that X, and then like yeah, that first.
So not like you're keeping it real.
You're asking like distance from each one?
Well, no, from like that X, like how big is 100 feet?
100 feet. It kind of circles a little bit around it. It seems to be 2 or 3 city blocks.
So then I point again and I I point at the X, and then I like point randomly in that circle, and then I like kind of look at them like, how many? Hello?
Hmm.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay, sorry. He looks over and, you mean entrances?
Rah.
There's one here, here, and here.
Hmm. Hmm. I walk over to the window and I thump it open, and I have my raven come in and sit like on that X and like look at the circle, and I kind of like nod at it, like I can take care of those three if I'm in the middle.
Okay, you think you're onto something. And he starts getting out the map. Starts circling and taking a look at the map, and there's one there, 2, 3, 4, 5. He has about 10 circles drawn so far. These are the ones that are outside 100 feet of each of these circles that have the most condensed entrances. There are a few staggered through the city that wouldn't fit into groupings, but this would get us at least the biggest area. What we can do is station a few guards at each one. We'll set it up that way. Then we'll have an alarm system with a courier pigeon set for each individual unit. How fast can you get across the city?
I wink at my party.
He knows the way quite well, so we should be able to get there relatively quickly, provided we're not expecting too much.
So this might be give us a way of knowing when it'll strike at night and where it is.
Sounds like it's our best chance.
Believe so. So we'll go ahead and we'll set this up. Once we have this, we'll send word to you. Here, kind of reaches into his pouch and grabs a little. It's kind of like a little envelope, but little kind of scroll that's rolled up and tied together. Not really a lot of paper there, but it does have a unique smell to it. Keep this on you.
I take the envelope.
Oh, bastard.
When we get word back, we'll send you word via carrier pigeon. It's trained to meet at one of these, and it'll go ahead and give you the details of where it's at. That's about the most that we can do for you.
Sounds reasonable.
From there, it's on you to track it and to kill it.
Of course.
All right.
Gentlemen,
Well-
have any other questions or ideas, opinions?
I know we can't hook into the mirror, but quickest way to reach you?
Spellcasters here have the ability to send a message.
I mean, I don't. I look over at the little bird. Do you?
I shake my head.
Skywatcher?
Skywatcher is currently unavailable.
Oh,
Second reaches. I keep something like that around here. This time we had a wizard in. So he flips through a couple of books on a side shelf. Kind of see him throwing things around. Kind of, no, no. This is what I'm looking for. Uh, Opens a book. Inside of this particular book, it is hollowed out, and there are numerous leather casings, kind of wrapped up in tube shape. Now, I'm willing to lend one of these out to you. And when I say lend, I mean if you use it, it will be used up. This is a scroll of sending. It allows an arcane caster to go ahead and deliver a message of 50 words directly to a person that they think of. It is sent directly and telepathically, activated once you read the scroll.
Got it.
I take it and hand it to Noravar. And I kind of like I kind of like nudge him like he'll be able to use it. You got this.
So you're an arcane caster in the group. Good to know. Anyway, anything else you need from us? Otherwise, get on with your effing day.
I think we are concluded here, gentlemen.
Good. And take this. He throws over a little satchel.
I catch it.
Think of it as a investment in seeing you guys come back alive.
All right. I sling the satchel over my shoulder and carry on.
All right. You're dismissed. Get out of my office.
All right.
I'm going to be the last one out,
We have work to do.
All right, you're the last one out.
but right before I close the door, I go, who's worse? Frank? Steve.
100% Steve.
Steve. And I close the door.
I go downstairs and outside.
All right. So you guys leave and make your way out of the essentially archive. And what do you wish to do? It is about a little after, I'd say, with all that talking and roleplay, let's say 1:30 in the afternoon.
Oh. Excuse me. I think it would be wise if we took, made sure we still have rooms, and then head on over to where we're supposed to be. Anyone disagree with that?
No.
I don't. I say we get this plan in motion.
Exactly.
Do you guys want to head over to your domicile at the inn, at the Threatened Bow, I believe?
Might as well.
All right. All right. So, what would take you 45 minutes takes you 22 minutes and 30 seconds. So you make it there. It's about 2 o'clock, a little before 2. 15 till, pretty much, or what with 15 or 8 till.
Mhm.
The only one that would know for sure would be Toblin. Just walk into the inn, or
I will fly to the end.
Okay. Drama queen.
what? My question was more of, now that you're at the inn, what do you want to do? Go ahead and roleplay this. Act it out. Do whatever you want.
Well, I
Right.
guess I need to tell
And-
another story so we can get another free night.
That you do, I think.
I thought you did it twice already.
No, I've only done it once so far.
Okay,
Yes.
my
In
bad.
the last section, he did request that see if you were gonna speak again, so they could bring in some more clientele as things slowed down after the few days that you stayed there.
And the way that by popular demand works is I have to do it every night.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yep.
I'm going to head to my room and meditate a bit.
Alrighty. So you're gonna meditate.
I'm going to step behind the bar and begin making a sandwich. Like I'm doing right now.
Oh, good grief.
Like he owns the
Um,
bar. Hilarious.
AJ, that'll be a a 23 on performance for my story.
Hold on.
So
Can I like add to his whatever?
you would just give him advantage by creating sound effects and doing what you did last time.
Oh, okay.
That's still a 23.
Jesus. Okay.
So with a 23 performance, you woo the crowd. They are eating up every single word that you're saying. They're leaning on the edge of their seat, leaning up, and then you come with the surprise and the music, kind of voices and sounds that you add to it, Doblin. Shock and wow the crowd. Like, whoa. A couple little kids like, did that really happen? I don't know. It sounds like it could be true.
Oh yes,
Kinda-
the Odd Twins were very true. They were very real. I have met them multiple times.
That's so cool. So as everything goes on for the next, we'll call it about an hour worth of storytelling, and going through this epic tale. People are thanking you, and you're kind of wrapping things up and calming down, and you find in one of your hands a pouch of 100 gold.
Motherfucker.
Just thank you. Apparently some of the crowd was so impressed with your storytelling that they had to leave a tip.
Mhm.
So they gathered around, and a bunch of people threw in some coins, and it ended up being 100. Interesting roll on my dice. I'm just still surprised that I rolled 100.
What'd you do? Percentile?
Yep,
Nice.
Wow.
I am frightened.
It was just the story was just that damn good.
Yep. If I was rolling on the
Gotta
magic
hide the
table, you would
money.
have had some broken ass item. So let's see, what's this magic table for this?
Just give me a rusty spoon.
It's a rusty spoon. For now. But alright, so you're able to then the barkeep. Oh, thank you. So you brought in such a good clientele. Oh, they were eating it up, and they definitely were eating it up and drinking. Oh, you know what I mean? Your rooms are definitely on us. Thanks again for helping us out and bringing in the clientele.
Of course, any service to you.
Thank you. Magic table eye. Just to give you an idea of what it would have been. if I had rolled that on the magic table, it would have been the Tome of the Skilled Tongue.
Mhm.
That you would have gotten, and I believe that is. Let's see, where's the T's? Just because I had to know what I would have given you.
Mhm.
A, B, C, D, F, G. Well, P is after S. Alright, P. It is a wizard's thing. As a bonus action to cast, you can cast a spell you've written in this tome without expending a spell slot using any verbal, somatic, or components. Once you use the property, the tome can't be used again for the next day. But you can remove the tongue from the book's color, and if you do so, all spells written in the book are permanently erased.
Hmm.
Wow, that wouldn't help me at all.
Yep, wouldn't help you at all. But that's what was available on that magic table. If I'm reading this correctly.
Mhm.
I was not.
Uh-oh.
Just- No, it was. Okay, no, it was roll once on that table. Okay. Wait, no, you were only on challenge rating this. It's
Nope.
G. Nope. I was
She-
rolling at the highest one. That, by the way, that's the Book of the Whispered One, also known as Vecna. So,
Well, wonderful.
Yep.
Not
Wings
much
of-
of that one.
in the magic table that I'm looking at, you would have had the Wings of Flying.
That would have been useful.
That would have been useful.
Yeah, sure. If I believed in magic. But are they actual physical like wings, or are they like magical wings that like pop out?
So they are Wings of Flying. It's a cloak. You can use an action to speak the command word, and the cloak turns into a pair of bat wings or bird wings on your back for an hour, or until you repeat the command word as an action. They'll give you a flying speed of 60 feet, and when they disappear, you can't use them for 1d12 hours. So,
Well, that wouldn't work. I'd just be like, damn, I got a cloak now.
it does require attunement, so you'd have to attune to it. And if your character believes in that or would take the time to understand it, you would get the knowledge, and it would come to you the command word. Yep. So, anyways, now that's out of the
Carry
way,
on.
due to curiosity. That's taken us. That would have started around 4 o'clock as the day is starting to end, and they're starting to try and gather people. Sun's still up. It's about 6:30 now. Things are kind of wrapping down. Anything else you guys want to do? Alkin, anything special?
No. Did he get to eat that sandwich he was making?
I haven't put it in the microwave yet.
You're gonna microwave it? I still have that random pizza that I have to decide what I'm gonna do with.
How did you get a random pizza anyway?
Someone knocked on my door and like did the knock like something in a haircut, 2 bits.
Shaving a haircut.
Shaving a haircut on my door very lightly.
Mhm.
And I went up to the eye socket because I was like, okay, that was weird. Take a look around, no one. And then I turned around and opened the door, and there was a pizza on the ground.
So it wasn't even like a delivery person.
Not that I know of. It might have been. Maybe they got in the building and dropped it off and left.
Maybe they
Did you
brought it
order
to the
pizza?
wrong door.
So that's what I thought. That's why it's still on my table. But I don't know. It did
As
look
long as
really
it-
good though.
As
So
long as it doesn't have pineapple, we're good.
no, pineapple on pizza's fine. You're crazy.
Blasphemer.
Think about it. You have the
Oh, I
salt.
have.
You have the salty and savory all together on one dish. Come on.
Nope.
It's perfect food.
Anyways,
Anyhow, let's get back to the game. Let's pizza.
Back to the game. So you're doing nothing. You're meditating.
Yep.
Um,
Tranquilizing
everyone-
myself.
Yep. Isaac, anything special?
I've got nothing I need to do.
All right. So you take your time in the evening waiting for signal. Do you want to wait in the bar? Do you want to get somewhere in the city that might make you a little bit quicker to get around? Because you guys are in the Abadar's Promenade at the moment.
I'll be having wine.
Having some wine.
Hmm.
Okay.
Uh,
You're drinking wine right now.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me a Constitution saving throw.
oh
Yeah,
no.
let's go.
Oh no. That's no idea. Bye bye.
That's okay. My constitution isn't that bad. 18.
Nice. So you're finishing the first glass of wine, and kind of has a unique floral taste to it. And then it kind of starts sitting in. You just kind of shake it off, and doing fine. Apparently, they had given you one of their nicer bottles of wine. It's very pleasant to the taste, but is also very strong.
They better damn have.
Oh,
So that's that.
I actually told a real story this time.
So up to you guys. We can keep going. This seems like a natural stopping point, or I can keep going and we'll find a new stopping point. I know some people have to wake up early and just want to make sure I'm taking into account everyone.
yeah, I think this might be a good place to stop. For me, at least.
We got an hour and a half in.
yeah.
I know we've been doing every other Thursday, but since we are behind, gentlemen, would you be opposed to meeting for another session next Thursday?
Do it. That's what I was gonna ask.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we can do that if I'm
Sure.
available.
I mean, especially if it's going to be another short session, I figure we might as well up the frequency.
I'm gonna try and if we're gonna have shorter sessions, I'm gonna try and adjust some of the things on my side. So if we get into combat, it's not gonna just be 2.5
3
hours
hours
of
of combat.
Yeah, it's a combat.
Yeah.
Against
We
a
can end on,
ghost,
like,
no
fighting
less.
that cliffhanger, and then the next episode will be the combat.
Yep. So I will say, it's about 8:30, and at that time in the night, a bird does come to the window of the tavern, trying to get in, and that's where we'll leave it.
Okay.
And it's
Sick.
not my bird, is it?
Nope.
Okay, good.
Carrier pigeon.
It is a carrier pigeon with a letter in its foot,
All
tied to
right.
one of its feet.
Makes more sense than trying to have it carry it.
Yeah.
The carrier pigeons of old in World War One. Moncherie.
Do you know they also were tracking systems for bombs?
Yeah.
I think I can't remember if it was the Germans or us or both that experimented with that. Didn't
British.
exactly work out so well.
This is the British.
It was okay, yeah. I couldn't remember if it was the Allies or if it was the Germans. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't the Axis. It was the Allies.
No, yeah, that's
Central.
right. Because they needed to come up with something after the Germans developed precision guided and radio controlled bombs.
Yep.
Good talk. Thanks for coming out and
Anyways.
hanging out and watching this
Yeah.
video. Or catching the stream or whatever. I mean, Hey, thanks for the support. I love you. Not in like a weird way. Anything you guys want to say?
No, thanks for joining us. If you ended up popping on and watching, hopefully we'll have a little bit more